Got my 70-gallon here. I'm starting to fill it up with gravel. I'm actually using gravel from an old tank, which is perfectly fine. It's actually good because it has bacteria in it. But what I wanted to show you is how do you wash the gravel before you put it into a tank. So I'm going to go through a few steps on how to make sure you get all the large particles and any old debris that's in there out of it before you pour it into your new tank. Okay, so I got my bucket of gravel. Pretty much put it into a 5-gallon bucket I got from Lowe's, so it's sterile. There's no chemicals in it. And what I'm going to do is, got a hose here. I'm just going to turn the hose on and fill it up to about that level. Shut the hose off. And the easiest thing is mix it with your hand to get all that debris kind of wrestled around. Then I'm outside, so I'm just going to dump it out. It actually wasn't that dirty. And see, it's a little cleaner. There's a couple more iterations of that. A couple more iterations, and then I'll be good to go. Then I can dump it into the tank. It doesn't take a lot of water. Probably maybe an inch above the gravel line, just so there's enough water to float the dirt and stuff. It's not too bad. So once I do this, it's going to be considered clean for an aquarium. Then I'll dump it into the tank. I'm going to dump it in. I'll shake it off a little bit. But a couple more buckets full and I'll be good to go, and then I'm going to aquascape it. Okay, so now that it's in there, I'm going to spread it around, make sure it's equal. A lot of times what you want to do is slant it a little bit so it's higher in the back, because aesthetically, how the eye sees it, it's going to make it look like it's further back. That's a little trick to use. Also, when you slant the gravel from high to low, a lot of the waste matter will kind of collect towards the front, so it's easier to clean out. So I'm going to level this out, but let me just show you one tip for when you break the aquarium down. A lot of people say, how do I get the gravel out? What's the easiest way? Well, typically what I do is I get a net, something like this, and I'll just scoop it like that and put it right into a bucket. And that is like the easiest way to get gravel out. So another question is, why did I go with gravel this large? Okay, there's larger gravel and there's definitely finer gravel, and then there's sand. Okay, I've been doing this a long time. I tried sand. Now, depending on what kind of fish you have, you might have to go with sand, but most fish are fine with gravel. So the reason I don't like sand is it traps gases, traps waste. It's really hard to clean. You can't use a siphon to clean it properly. I also used a smaller or a finer grade of gravel. And again, when I use my siphon, it ends up siphoning out half the gravel when I clean it. So I found that this size is perfect. When I clean the tank with a siphon, it tumbles the gravel stays in the tank, but the waste comes out. So that's why I chose this gravel. So again, it depends on what kind of fish you have, but if you're just talking your standard community fish or African cichlids, anything like that, you're probably going to be okay with this gravel. But again, do your research.